Fred, you threw away your career because of a sentimental whim?
Well, I'll open my own office.
And what kind of clients will you get?
Oh, probably a lot of people like Chris who are being pushed around. You know, that's the only fun in law anyway. Doris, look, don't you have any faith at all in me?
Oh, it's not a question of faith. It's common sense.
But faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to. It's not just Chris that's on trial. It's everything he stands for. Human kindness and love.
Fred, listen. We've seen a lot of each other the last couple of weeks. I've become very fond of you. We've talked about some wonderful plans, haven't we? And then you do this. You go on an idealistic binge, throw away your security, and you expect me to be happy about it.
I expect too much, is that it? Well, that's that, I guess. Good night, Doris.
Hello. Yes, this is Mr. Murrah. Well, can't it wait till tomorrow? I'm eating Who's been subpoenaed? Well, how do you think I feel about it? I'll see you tomorrow.
Who's that, dear?
R.H. Macy's been subpoenaed.
Oh, my.
Oh, those reporters. They make me look like a sadistic monster who likes nothing better than to drown pussycats and tear wings off of butterflies.
Quiet, quiet. Tommy's still awake.
Oh, yeah.
It'd just break his heart if he knew what his daddy's doing.
I'm doing my job as assistant district attorney.
Well, I'm not so sure, but that I agree with him. Mr. Kringle looks like a very nice old man, and I don't see why you have to keep persecuting him.
I'm not persecuting him. I'm prosecuting him. I like the old man, too, but there's nothing I can do about it.
You know something, Thomas? Sometimes I wish I'd married a butcher or a plumber.
Well, if I lose this case, it's very possible you'll get your wish. R.H. Macy, I wonder what he's going to pull tomorrow.
Proceed with the witness, Mr. Gailey.
Now then, Mr. Macy, if you recognize the defendant, please tell us who he is.
Chris Kringle, of course.
Do you believe him to be of sound mind?
Sound mind? I wish I had a dozen like him.
Mr. Macy, you're under oath. Do you believe that man is Santa Claus?
Well, now, that's rather delicate.
Careful, R.H. Just think of those headlines tomorrow. Macy admits his Santa Claus is fraud.
You keep out of this, Kimball.
What did you say?
Nothing, Mr. Mara.
I wish you would. Is that man Santa Claus?
Yes. In my opinion, he most certainly is.
Your Honor!
Well, now, the court will take a short recess to consider the question. Hello, Henry. Why, Charlie. What are you doing here?
Can't an old friend visit you in your chambers? And if you ask me, you never needed a friend like you do now.
This Kringle case? Well, I certainly don't see what they're making such a fuss about.
Henry, that's Santa Claus you got out there on trial for lunacy. This case is dynamite, and you're coming up for re-election soon.
Charlie, you know what happened last night? Martha brought the grandchildren over. They wouldn't kiss Grandpa. They wouldn't even talk to me.
There, you see what I mean? If you rule there is no Santa Claus, you better start looking at that chicken farm right now.
I'm a responsible judge. How can I seriously rule that there is a Santa Claus?
Because of what happens if you don't. The kids read about it and they don't hang up their stockings. Now, what happens to all the toys that are supposed to be in those stockings? Nobody buys them. The toy manufacturers have to lay off employees. By now, you've got the AFL and the CIO against you. And they're going to say it with votes, see? Oh, the department stores are going to love you, too. Yes, sir, Henry. And what about the Salvation Army? They got a Santa Claus in every street corner, and they're taking a lot of money to help the poor. But go ahead, Henry. You go in there and rule there isn't any Santa Claus. But if you do, you can count on getting just 2 votes. Your own and that district attorney's out there.
1 vote, Charlie. He's a Republican. Oh, well, let's get this over with. The question of Santa Claus seems to be largely a matter of opinion. The tradition of American justice demands a broad and unprejudiced view of such a controversial matter.
But, Your Honor...
This court, therefore, intends to keep its mind open. We shall ask for evidence on either side.
But the burden of proof clearly rests with my opponent. Can he produce any evidence to support his views?
If Your Honor, please, I can. Will Thomas Mara please take the stand?
Who? Me?
No, Thomas Mara, Jr. I believe he and his mother are both in court today.
Hi, Papa.
Hi.
Tommy, do you believe in Santa Claus?
I sure do. He gave me a brand new sled last year.
And, what does Santa Claus look like, Tommy?
Well, there he is, sitting right over there.
Your Honor, I overrule.
Tell me, Tommy, why are you so sure there's a Santa Claus?
Because my Papa told me so. Didn't you, Papa?
Thank you, Tommy. You can go back to your mother now.
See you later, Papa.
You certainly will. Your Honor!
Don't forget, Santa Claus. This year I want a football helmet.
Now, don't worry, Tommy. You'll get it.
Mr. Kringle, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry, sir.
Your Honor, the state of New York concedes the existence of a Santa Claus. But in so conceding, we demand that Mr. Gailey stop presenting personal opinion as evidence. I insist he submit authoritative proof that Mr. Kringle here is the one and only Santa Claus.
Well, Mr. Gailey, are you prepared to show that Mr. Kringle is Santa Claus on the basis of unprejudiced authority?
Well, no, not now. I need a little time.
Why not now?
Tomorrow, Your Honor.
Very well. Court's adjourned till tomorrow morning.
Phew.
Now come, Susan, dear. Finish your supper.
But I can't, Mother. All those things they're saying in the newspapers about Mr. Kringle and Mr. Gailey.
Susan, they're having this trial because he says he's Santa Claus.
But he's so kind and nice and jolly. He's not like anyone else I know. He must be Santa.
You know something? I think perhaps you're right.
Is Mr. Kringle sad now, Mother?
I'm afraid he must be.
Then I'll write him a letter. Maybe that'll make him feel better. I'll cheer him up and I'll tell him I believe him.
Oh, postman.
Yeah, lady?
Would you mind taking this letter?
Oh, sure, lady. We're going straight down to the post office now. Okay, Louie, take it away. What do you know, Louie? Another letter for Santa Claus. Hey, here's a new one. Instead of North Pole, this kid's got it addressed to Chris Kringle, New York County Courthouse.
Well, the kid's right.
Huh? Oh, yeah, sure. They got him on trial down there. He claims he's Santa Claus and the DA claims he's nuts.
Hey, Frankie, I got an idea.
Yeah?
How many Santa Claus letters do you think we got down there in the dead letter office?
Oh, who knows? Must be 50,000. Bags and bags all over the joint.
You mean what, Frankie? Why not? Wouldn't it be nice to get rid of them all? Wouldn't it?
Boy, oh boy. Look, Louie, soon as we get to the post office, we go see the supervisor. You know something? I bet we both get promoted.
And since the defense has been unable to submit one shred of proof that Chris Kringle is the one and only Santa Claus, and since tonight is Christmas Eve, I ask Your Honor that this hearing be terminated without further delay.
I protest, Your Honor. I do have evidence.
5 minutes ago, you said you didn't.
During Mr. Mara's oration, the bailiff handed my client the evidence I refer to.
What evidence?
This letter, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Kringle?
It's from Susan Walker. She believes in me. This letter means more to me than anything in the world.
That letter, Your Honor, was delivered by the United States Post Office, an official agency of the federal government. The Post Office Department is one of the largest business concerns in the world. Last year, it did a gross volume of over $1 billion, and
Your Honor, I'm sure we're all gratified that the post office is getting along so well. But what bearing has it on the sanity of that man?
My point is that the Post Office Department is a model of efficiency. Furthermore, the laws of this country make it a criminal offense to willfully misdirect mail or intentionally deliver it to the wrong party.
The state of New York is second to none in its admiration of the Post Office Department. We're very happy to concede Mr. Gailey's claims.
For the record, Mr. Mara?
For the record, anything to get on with this case.
Thank you. Your Honor, that letter just received by Mr. Kringle is positive proof that a
One letter is hardly positive proof.
I have further exhibits, Your Honor, but I hesitate to produce them.
Come, Mr. Gailey. Put them here on my desk.
But, Your Honor,
I said put them on my desk.
All right, boys, bring them in. Put them right there.
Your Honor. What?
What is this?
Empty those mail sacks on Judge Harper's desk.
But we got 6 truckloads out there.
Bring them in or be fined for contempt of court.
Now, just a second here.
We'll do it, Your Honor. We'll do it. True rain, true sleet, true courtrooms, anything. We deliver.
Mr. Gailey.
Your Honor, every one of those letters and every one of those mail sacks is addressed to Santa Claus. The Post Office Department has delivered them. Therefore, the Post Office Department recognizes Kris Kringle to be the one and only Santa Claus.
Since the United States government declares this man to be Santa Claus, this court will not dispute it. Case dismissed. And for heaven's sake, get this mail out of my courtroom.
So as soon as I got out of court, I came straight to Mace's to see you, Doris.
Oh, Chris, I'm so glad you won.
Well, we're having a big Christmas party at the Brooks home tomorrow morning. I'd like so much to see you and Susie there.
We'll be there, Chris. Oh, couldn't you just come home now and have dinner with us?
Now? Tonight? Me? My goodness, Doris, it's Christmas Eve. Alfred, look who came all the way out here to the home just for our Christmas party.
Chris, it's Mr. Macy.
Mr. Gimble, too. Oh, excuse me, Alfred. Mrs. Walker and Susie have to leave now, and I don't want to go without my shoes.
But Susie, darling, you got so many presents.
That's the one I wanted. That's the one Mr. Kringle was going to get for me.
Well, what was it?
It doesn't matter. I knew I wouldn't get it, and I thought he'd at least tell me why.
Susie, I'm sorry, Susie. I tried my best,
You couldn't get it because you're not Santa Claus.
Susan!
Just a nice old man, like Mother said.
But I was wrong when I told you that. You must believe in Mr. Kringle and keep right on doing it. You must have faith in him.
But that doesn't make sense, Mother.
Faith is believing in things when common sense tells you not to.
Huh?
I mean, just because things don't turn out the way you want them to the first time, you've still got to believe in people. I found that
Hello,
out.
Doris.
Oh, Fred.
Mr. Gailey! Oh, Mr. Gailey!
Merry Christmas, Susie.
Gosh, you just got here and we're just ready to leave.
Oh, I've been here, and if you're ready to leave, I'll drive you home.
Well, before you go, here's a map I've made for you. Now, you'll miss a lot of traffic. About 4 miles south, you will see Ashley Avenue. That's the street you want. Ashley Avenue.
Thanks, Chris. And a Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Fred. And to you, my dear. And to you, Susie.
I believe Mr. Kringle. I do. It's silly, I suppose. But I believe.
I don't understand it, Fred. The map Chris gave us definitely says Ashley Avenue. We've been on Ashley Avenue now.
Stop the car! Oh, stop the car, please!
Susie, what is it, darling? What's the matter?
There it is, the house! The house!
Susie,
What in the world?
She's running into that house.
At least there's no one home. It's brand new. It's just been built.
Yeah, for sale, it says. For sale.
What on earth is that child up to?
Susie! Hey, Susie!
Here I am upstairs!
Come right down. You know you shouldn't run around in other people's houses. That's strange.
I'll say.
No, I mean this house. I've seen this house somewhere. I know I have. Maybe in a magazine.
Mother, it's our house. It's the one I asked him for, Mr. Kringle.
Mr. Kringle?
I know it is. Oh, you were right, Mommy. You were right.
Susie.
Mommy told me if things didn't turn out just the way you wanted them to at first, you've still got to believe. And I kept believing and you were right, Mommy. Mr. Kringle is Santa Claus.
Now where are you going?
In back to see if there's a swing. Oh, there is one. There is one.
You told her that about believing?
Well, you told me, Fred.
Sign outside. For sale, huh? Well, we can't let her down, can we?
I never really doubted you. It was just my silly common sense.
It even makes sense to believe in me now. I must be a pretty good lawyer. I'd take a little old man and legally prove to the world that he's Santa Claus. Now, you know that couldn't...
Fred.
What's the matter?
There in the corner by the fireplace.
Oh, no. No.
It can't be. It couldn't.
A cane. Chris's cane. Why, there couldn't be 2 canes like that anywhere in the world.
Silver handle and all.
Hey, you know something? maybe I didn't do such a wonderful thing after all.
Our stars will return for their curtain calls in a moment. Let's look in for a moment on the Smiths. In a rash moment, Bill has offered to wash the dishes.
Here's the Lux. Just shake a little in the dishpan. Hey there, that's enough.
Oh, why be stingy? I like lots of suds.
Well, so do I. But you'll get plenty with a little Lux.
Hey. It looks just like a bubble bath.
Dishcloth is there under the sink. You know, those suds won't flatten out either, like that stuff I used last week. You watch.
Well, at least you used that other box up fast.
I'll say. It's another reason I'm back to Lux Flakes. Why, I'll bet Lux does most twice as many dishes, because a little goes such a long way. Well, don't just admire those suds all night.
Come back here and dry.
Silly, that's a waste of time. Just rinse those dishes with hot water, and they'll dry by themselves.
You know, I was just thinking, can I count this as my good deed for the day if I get dishpan hands for your sake?
Dishpan hands, nothing. You won't get red, rough hands with Lux Flakes in the dishpan. See? What's wrong with mine?
Not so bad. Not so bad. Next time you do the dishes.
Well, ladies, if your husband doesn't do the dishes, the next best thing is to do them yourself with Lux Flakes in the dishpan. You'll avoid dishpan hands. In fact, if strong soaps have been making your hands red and rough, just change to Lux Flakes and see how soon your hands are soft and smooth again. Now, here's Mr. Keeley with our stars. Mr. Keeley in Washington, D.C., and our stars on the stage of the Lux Radio Theater in Hollywood.
For a most delightful holiday performance, all our thanks to Maureen O'Hara, John Payne, Edmund Gwen, and Natalie Wood, who returned to the spotlight for a curtain call. From Washington to Hollywood and points between, you've helped to put us in the mood for Christmas.
Thanks, Bill. But we missed you at tonight's performance.
As I miss being there, believe me. But here in Washington, Edmund Gwen sounded just as convincing as Santa Claus as he must have on your stage in Hollywood.
Well, Bill, I wonder how many people knew that Teddy Gwen really was Macy's Santa Claus in their holiday parade.
Is that right, Mr. Gwen?
Yes, that's right, Natalie. In fact, I've been Santa Claus so much I'm beginning to really believe in myself.
I don't wonder, Teddy. I'm certainly going to leave the latchkey in the mailbox for you Christmas Eve.
No, just put a windsock in the chimney, Bill.
You really plan to make the rounds on Christmas Eve, eh, Teddy?
Well, you can't let millions of children down.
You know, Mr. Gwen, you sound as if you did believe in Santa Claus.
He's right, too. Didn't I just prove it?
Well, why don't we leave it to the Lux Radio Theater audience?
Yes. How about it, folks? Do you believe in Santa Claus?
Well, that's ought to reassure the children in the audience tonight.
Tell us, Bill, how's the picture going down in Washington?
Splendidly. In fact, if all's well, I'm happy to say I'll be back for our big New Year's show next Monday night.
Something special, Mr. Keeley?
Very special, Natalie. A musical hit to warm the hearts of every member of the family.
Well, let's hear what gives, Bill. Sounds exciting.
Exciting it is. A play and cast that's topped our list of listeners' requests. And our stars are the one and only Frank Sinatra, the lovely and talented singing star Katherine Grayson, and the ever-popular Gene Kelly. In Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's great hit, Anchors Aweigh.
I hope you have Frank singing the wonderful tunes from that picture, Bill.
Yes, indeed. And Catherine and Jean, too.
Sounds like a great way to finish out the old year, Bill. Congratulations.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, and Merry Christmas to all four of you. Once again, the world looks forward to another Christmas. It would be idle to say that peace reigns everywhere on earth, that men confront the future with untroubled hearts. But this much we can say, that for one day, the world is brought together by the worship of the Prince of Peace. And if that spirit can burn so brightly for a single day, we have cause to hope that it may someday shine forever in men's hearts. behalf of Lever Brothers Company and of us of the Lux Radio Theater, may I wish all of you the happiest of holidays. We invite you all to join us again next Monday evening when the Lux Radio Theater presents Frank Sinatra, Katherine Grayson, and Gene Kelly in Anchors Aweigh. This is William Keighley saying good night and Merry Christmas.
Maureen O'Hara and Natalie Wood appeared through the courtesy of 20th Century Fox, producers of Captain from Castile and Daisy Kenyon. Edmund Gwen appeared by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of Cass Timberlane, starring Spencer Tracy and Lana Turner. Heard in our cast tonight were Joseph Kearns as Sawyer, Alan Reed as Macy, Bill Johnstone as Mara, and Herbert Butterfield as Judge Harper. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers. And this is your announcer, John Milton Kennedy, reminding you to join us again next Monday night to hear Anchors Aweigh with Frank Sinatra, Katherine Grayson, and Gene Kelly.
Pepsodent won by 3-1. Yes, in a recent survey, families throughout America compared new Pepsodent toothpaste with the brands they'd been using at home. By an overwhelming average of 3-1, they preferred new Pepsodent with Irium over any other brand they tried. They said new Pepsodent toothpaste tastes better, makes breath cleaner, makes teeth brighter. Yes, with families who made comparison tests, Pepsodent won by 3-1.